Hallo, hallo, Test 1, 2, 3. Kann man mich verstehen? Oder ist es noch zu leise? Sehr gut. That was microphone number 1. So, now microphone number 2. Hope it sounds okay. Just give me a little feedback. Ja, Sven, Erschrecken gehört dazu. Perfekt. Dann werde ich mal Parker abholen. Er hat gerade gesagt, er hat sehr viel Zeit. Also mal gucken, wie lange er hier bleibt beim Kommentieren. So we're back live. Parker Bohn with me. Hello, Parker.
How are you?
Good. And you?
Well, I'll say not too bad.
Not too bad.
My bowling score is not exactly where I need it to be, but that just it comes with the flow.
Yeah.
But it's another great event here in what I feel is probably one of the most prestigious looking bowling centers, the finest looking bowling centers you're going to see throughout Europe. So
yeah, it's impressive when all 52 lanes are occupied and playing, and
well, it's just a wonderful facility. It has everything that bowling has to offer, and the people that come here from throughout the world literally walk into this bowling center and they know that they are coming into a very well-maintained, prestigious-looking center with obviously a wonderful prize fund to go with it. Martin Larson, are you crying? Okay.
But he already posted a good score. So.
He bowled great last night. That's for sure. I wish that my score was half of what his was. Well, actually, it is half.
Yeah.
But this is the second squad of qualifying today. Here the last day, the Brunswick Euro Challenge, and obviously this squad full?
Yeah,
it looks
104
like
players.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me as things are rolling along.
Did you realize any differences between the early squad this morning and the squad you played yesterday?
Typically when you bowl a morning squad, the lanes are going to have a little bit more back end because the lanes have sat for a couple of hours overnight. And as much as the lanes may have been just a tiny bit stronger, it wasn't like it was drastic. And, I'm going to put it bluntly, I personally could not figure out exactly where that window was for me to get my ball to pick up. I tried some different surfaces, I tried different hand positions, different balls, different ball motions, but I never got where it was totally comfortable for Parker Bohn. And it's one of those few times, and there's been very few times that I will admit this, but it's one of those few times that I'm going to move along and just let it be. I'll come out tonight and bowl the Desperado, and hopefully I can put 12 great shots together and still stand in for tomorrow, and then we'll take tomorrow where it gets. But right now, I'm going to sit on the sidelines and watch all the good bowlers.
Okay, so you don't play anymore today?
No, not today.
Okay. So we are on lanes 13 to 16 at the moment.
John Wells up here throwing a shot. A little bit wide down lane for 2-8-10. That's typical on both sides of the lane. If you get the ball wide of target, and I'm going to say wide down the lane, probably somewhere right of about 6 or 7 for the righties, left of 6 or 7 for the lefties. The ball will certainly have a tendency of hanging out there and coming behind a head pin. And 2-8-10 combination, 3-7-9 if you're a left-hander combination.
I've seen them a lot of.
Exactly. The ball will definitely go behind the head pin, and the next thing you know, you're kind of scratching your head going, what just happened there?
Yeah.
But as a player, you can't let that get the best of you. You have to figure out how to make a better shot, whether it's a ball change, whether it's position, hand position, the way you're playing the lanes. That window, I'll say down the lane on both sides, literally does not want to be outside of 7. 7 better be the furthest point your ball gets to, and as I say that, it may actually be 8 or 9 on some of the pairs.
Okay.
Guys with a little bit more hand may be able to get it there, but they're going to lose probably that one board of hold, inside of target. So all the bowlers are going to get lined up accordingly, but you're going to find that the optimum place to play the lane, down the lane, is somewhere around 9, 10, or 11. That way, if you miss a little bit right or outside of target, left or right, the ball can still respond and get back maybe to tickle the head pin. And if you get it inside of target a little bit from there, as long as you haven't done something to overdo it, then the ball hopefully will respect the lane and hold line for the pocket.
Okay. Do you think the pattern is more difficult than last year?
You know, I was not here last year. The caliber of bowlers obviously is the same.
Yep.
And from the competitors themselves, they said last year it took a little over 200 to make the cut.
Yeah, 14-13 was the cut last year.
The cut is nowhere near going to get to that this year.
Yeah.
I believe in my heart somewhere in that neighborhood of 175 is a pretty strong number. And if it creeps up into that 180 range,
yeah, we're at 163 at the moment.
Yeah, it can't. You know, it's going to go up. We know that. It can't go down.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure. Yeah.
But I don't see it getting any higher than I'm going to use that ballpark, 175 and maybe 180 at absolute best. You know, some of the scores, there's going to be some bowlers on this squad that potentially are going to bowl 1,400, but they probably already had a good score.
Yeah, maybe.
And they're just trying to either one, practice, or two, learn something a little bit more that's going to be beneficial to them tomorrow. And the smarter players, the players that see the lane or see the condition, they're certainly going to do that. You know, I know Sean Ranch is going to come out here and bowl a squad later on. He's the tournament leader right now. He posted 270 over the very first squad he bowled. And regardless of what he does the next squad when he comes out here, he's going to be trying some things, something that's going to allow him to either eliminate it from his arsenal of things to try tomorrow, or something else that he's going to fall into and figure out how to benefit himself even furthermore tomorrow because somebody else didn't have that opportunity to go practice it.
That's right. They're fighting for scores, and some players can try something. So
exactly, absolutely. That's the great thing and the unique thing about our sport. You know, you want to get every pin you can. You try to better yourself all the time. But then once you have enough pins in a tournament of this magnitude and every new squad starts all over again, well, if you've got a score posted, now you can go out there and try some things that is going to only benefit you come the finals or the certain squads that take place come tomorrow.
You never know with which players you get on the lane. Transition is totally different. So,
well, and tomorrow, let's face it, literally tomorrow, all of the competitors that didn't see the lane, regardless of how good or bad they are, okay, but they did not see the lane as clearly as the people that will be participating tomorrow. So the biggest thing from that is you're going to have the best of the best out there. And regardless whether or not you're a bona fide PBA player or a bona fide European player / Asian player, if you did not make the cut for this current event, you're not one of the better players out there. So putting that aside, we're not worried about what the player has accomplished. We're looking at the bowlers and the competitors that will be on the lanes tomorrow. Certainly, they're the best of the best in this week's field.
Yeah, that's right there. Okay, I just switched the camera to 7 to 10.
7 through 10. As we look over here to our left, lane 9, one of the young bucks out there strapping on it, goes a little bit light, leaving fortunately a 2-pin only. Patrick, he's bowling 2-teen pace, but I don't know if he has a score posted, but 2-teen is it's a good game to hang in there, but he better pick it up a little. watch some of the as we watch some of the ladies that are bowling in the field. You know, the ladies get that 8 pins a game handicap, and that's something that we do not do in America. If the ladies bowl in a scratch event, they bowl scratch. But, you know, I was a little bit taken back by it the very first event I bowled, and I want to say that it was in Asia that I seen that, because one of the tournaments I bowled over there, I believe the ladies got 6 pins a game. So whether it's 6 pins, 8 pins, there's actually, I have grown fond and actually like the uniqueness of the fact that the ladies get that little bit of handicap. Let's face it, they want to compete with the men. We want them to compete with us because of the money that they bring into the prize fund. And there's sometimes that you look at that handicap and go, you know what, I wish I had that, or I wish we were bowling scratch. But obviously there's certain times that, you know, when the men start striking and the men can break up things and going accordingly there, that it's beneficial to them. As we watch Paul Moore, who, needless to say, he won the Ballmaster Open just a few months ago up in Finland, and, well, need to say, Paul is not exactly seeing the lane here yet, neither in Munich, and his first game out, I'm sure, well, just by watching him, he's got that puzzled look on him, like, what is going on here? So,
yeah, I've seen this look on a lot of players this week.
Yeah, he'll get it figured out here somewhere. Pretty good shot right there by Craig Nittifer. Craig is he's one of the players that's come out on tour over the last 2 years. Certainly has plenty of hand to make the ball go around the lane. I mean, if he wants to get inside and go coast to coast, he's not going to be afraid to do that. He's willing to do that with some of the best of them. He may not have the track record as somebody like Pete Weber, you know, as acclaimed, or Jason Belmonte, or players of that nature, Sean Rash. You know, these guys are not afraid to go around a lane, but in the amateur world, he's definitely proven himself, and well, over the last year or two, he's really starting to try to make that name for himself out on the PBA Tour. So, bowling a tournament of this magnitude, for the players that don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's not that well known.
No, he's not that well known, but you watch his ball go down a lane, it's going to make a left-hand turn somewhere. Ida Anderson kind of struggling a little bit this game, but Jenny Wagner looks like over there on lane 8 that she's got things under control. Possible 230 as she gets up in the 10th frame. She threw the first strike, so she's another one of those ladies that's not afraid to make the ball make a turn down on the back end.
No, not really.
She goes after it.
She has a lot of hand.
She's got a lot of hand, a very healthy game for sure. One of those ladies that I look at and go, I'm giving her 8 pins a game?
Yeah.
She needs to give me handicap.
Yeah, I saw a lot of ladies, especially the Asians, who has a lot of power.
Yeah. Well, it's a unique sport. Everybody has their own strength, whatever they are. If you go down the lane, if you hook the whole lane, if you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, if you throw the ball slow, if you throw the ball hard, as we watch Jenny, you know, throw a really good pocket shot, and that 2-pin comes off the wall and does the damage for the 9. Now she's got a double. She's going to bowl 230. So with her 8-pin, she's got 240 out of the gate, and that's certainly the way that she's looking to start off here. But the sport is definitely unique that way. You can throw it any way you want to throw it, as long as you knock over 10 pins, be it 1 ball or 2 balls at the other end. Jenny gets 9 on her fill ball for 233, so she'll have 241 there out of the gate. On the same pair, though, Bryce Train 253. So that's a healthy score, and someone else had 222. So Needless to say, that pair lit him up pretty well.
Yep.
It's Craig Nittifer over here on lane 10. Through the first strike in the 10th. He can strike out for 258. You're going to see him. He's going to be on the right side of your screen here as we pop up. He's going to play that inside track. Probably go somewhere over the 4th arrow, and out she goes to the right. And needless to say, comes back and slaps the 10 out very healthy. So an upper 250 for him out of the gate. Feeling totally fine with what he sees.
.279 from Jasper on lane 1.
Lane 1, 279.
Yes. Lane
Holy
1,
cow.
279. I'm just looking through the scores at the moment.
My boy Kimmo Lehtinen from Finland out here bowling. Kimmo actually he posted a decent set last night, but it's not enough to make the cut. Somewhere in that lower 100 range, maybe 120, and he's gonna need to figure out how to get a little bit more than that for sure. Especially when we're talking somewhere 175 or 180.
167 we had yesterday.
Oh, he did post 167.
Yep.
I thought he was into 120. So
No.
167.
So he's at the moment 4 pins over
Yeah,
the
he's
cut.
4 pins over, but he even knows that number's going to go up. So.
He started with plus 11.
Ida Anderson getting up on lane 10 right here.
I just
shot.
switched over to 13 to 16.
Richard Teese bowling 203 the first game. See what a
231.
231.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed the one. Well, I guess you're right. When I watch this ball go through the pins like that. Now, Bryce Train just bowled 253 the first game there and finds himself going Brooklyn for a strike. So I'm sure he didn't throw a bunch of Brooklyns for 253, but he's going to have to make some sort of move over there as we watch Kimmo get up. And first shot, perfectly done, high flush. That's where I didn't get my ball to go enough. Martin Paulson, 222 the first game, gets up there and throws a great shot. So there's a couple players here in the early running that really haven't figured out. Bagley over there on 15 and 16. Paul Moore's going to, well, needless to say, going to try to get things underway here. Only bowled 179 that first game. He's got to figure something a little bit more out. I don't know what happened over on lane 7, but that's an interesting leave for someone.
Oh. let me see. It's 7, 8, 9. Right?
It almost looks that way. And the attempt, that was a pretty good attempt, but
yeah.
I don't know what it was.
But it looked like 7, 8, 9.
It looked like could have been a 7, 8, 9 or maybe a 3-pin that moved back.
Yeah.
It's kind of very strange. No, Kimo's he's gonna get used to that. He had a couple of them last night. His ball's in play, no question, but he's got to figure out how to get the ball to tip a little bit more predominantly. Matthias Olsen right here in front of us. Matthias actually bowled very good last squad.
Okay.
He bowled the last squad. He bowled a little over 100 over, and I don't know what he finished up with exactly. He might have been as high as 130 or 140 possibly, but 215 out of the gate. He sees the lane, but once again, he needs to get a little bit more than what he currently has. Paul Moore going up there on the right side of our screen. Really good shot. Starts this game off with a double. I don't know if he's overly feeling confident right now, but if you have to turn things around, that's definitely a way to turn things around.
Yep.
A little bit light there on lane 11, leaving the 2-8. Kimo Lehtinen up here on lane 14. Strikes spare and throws a great shot there for another strike. So the left side of your screen here, Martin Paulson. You're going to see it there. Ball's off his hand. See, there's that spot. He got a little bit right down lane, right of 10, and that's. He kind of fell off that a little bit. He didn't post that one. If he would have posted that, it looks like he's got plenty of turn to get it back. But by getting a little bit lazy there and falling off, I'll tell you right now, makes a big difference on how you go about repeating shots. See what he does here on his spare shot. Went hard and straight at the spares. You know what? That's the best way to fill up any frame.
Yep.
Whatever you left after the first ball, go straight at your spare, pick up your spare, and move right along. Now Bryce Train is getting ready to get up here on lane 14. He had 253 the first game, and here he is starting with the front three now. So I'm going to say he sees the lane pretty healthy. Solid 9 there. So his ball's reading lane perfectly. Maybe not that particular shot, but it's definitely seeing the lane pretty good. get up here. We're going to watch a couple more shots here, and then I'm going to have to break away for a little bit, but then I'll try to see if we can't come back afterwards. Mr. Train shooting the 9-pin. Easily covers that for the spare. Over here on the far left, Matthias Olsson. Barely see his ball in your screen there as he kind of rips the rack. Take a strike and move along. And Kimmo Lehtinen working on a strike, left the 7-pin last time on this lane. And now threw a great shot for a ring in 7. I don't think he was very happy about that result.
Yeah, seemed to be.
Part of the sport. For him, I hope that turns around later on, because Kimmo's a great guy. Great guy.
Don't complain, just spare and next shot.
You know, it's kind of hard when you make great shots. I mean, both 211 the first game, and when the scores are up there, where you got to average 230 to make the cut. You got to start throwing some strikes somewhere, and if you can't figure out how to get your ball to go through there to get the strikes, you end up not only puzzled, but on good key shots like that, unfortunately, a bad one is going to pop up here and there. So we'll see how things progress accordingly. But that being said, right now I'm going to go take off, go have a little lunch.
Yep, no problem.
And then we will try to stop back here later on after I fill up the tum-tum.
No problem. Thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. To all the fans and viewers out there, please continue to keep watching the Brunswick Euro Challenge, as it truly is a remarkable event that's held right here in Munich, Germany. And you are watching some of the greatest players from throughout the world that have come here to compete in this week's prestigious event.
Okay, thank you, Parker. See you later.
All right, you got it.
So, I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Great. So, welcome Pat Mitchell, Brunswick staff.
Thank you, Marco. It's great to be here.
So, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the oil pattern we have this year.
Okay, I'd be happy to. This year we've got a 42-foot pattern, very low volume by standards of most patterns that you see. Just under 18 milliliters for the total volume for the pattern. And it is a somewhat similar shape to the pattern as we had last year. Last year we went 39 feet, and the shape of the pattern was what I refer to as a diamond shape, where it begins narrow, becomes wider, and then gets narrow again. This year I added a step to lead into the higher volume, just to try to achieve player separation that I want. And it's actually done. It's done quite well. I'm quite pleased with the variety of angles that the players can play. They can play 10. They can play 15. They can play 20. And
as long as their shots are consistent.
As long as they're consistent. And this pattern is actually quite a bit flatter than we've used last year. I think last year we were at a maximum ratio of 2.8.
Okay.
And this year we are down to 2.3, but it really doesn't seem to hinder the scores any.
Yeah, the cuts seem to be a little bit lower than last year. Last year we had 14-13, I think.
Yes.
And I think the expected cut could be 1375, 1380 in that region.
And they're after the first squad today. Now to get to 1380, that means 12 players have to bowl better than 1380.
Yeah.
So I think at best that's probably what the cut will be.
Okay.
But it is kind of it is interesting. I mean, you come here, you watch the early squads in the beginning of the tournament, and then later you start to see the better players. Malaysia came in, Singapore came in.
We had one high-scoring squad with all the Malaysians and Singapore players. Was quite impressive to see.
It was. But we see that when you get a lot of similar styles of play playing together, and they work one area of the lane, it does help generate scores.
Yeah.
And we're using the new Brunswick Defy oil for the tournament here, and that allows us to use quite a bit less volume.
Okay.
It is a slippery oil, but it's also very durable oil. So when the ball passes through the oil, it's kind of like the boat passing through the water.
Okay. Yeah.
The waves go out, the waves come back. And with the time that it takes between throws on the same lane, we are looking at maybe 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
And this oil, 80% of the oil flows back within the first 5 seconds after the ball passes through. And then it just continues to pull until it levels the oil out.
Okay.
So in that amount of time, it replenishes that volume. Every squad we've had so far, they've never been able to penetrate the oil in the front part of the bowling lane with the impact of the bowling ball, which is something common that happens with most other conditions.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it allows the front parts to stay, which when the front part of the lane and a predictable ball reaction, arm swings become more loose for the players. They gain a little bit more confidence, and it helps when they do not have to make such large moves.
Yeah.
It becomes quite a bit easier.
What kind of transitions have you seen after the blocks? Did you take some stripes from the lanes?
Well, I've walked almost every squad
Yeah.
afterwards, and when I'm running lanes, I get to see the pattern characteristics, how they play the lanes, and then we can see from behind what angles they are playing at. But I look down the lane, and for most of the tournament, when I look at the lane, I see breakdown where at the end of the pattern where board 7, board 9, board 11 are typically very dry. Board 8, board 10, board 12, not so much.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
It is, and it is a the further left that they play the lanes, if they're a right-hander, the further left the break point has to be. So if they are playing fourth arrow, they have a difficult time to make the ball come back when it is right of the 10 wood. But as they move, the players are playing further to the right, then there is a little bit more room for them to keep the ball
into the pocket.
So it's kind of fun to watch. I mean, it's we do not see that type of transition very much. Normally the break point is just one solid area that is dry, and here that characteristic is a little different. So it allows players to play in certain zones or their areas that they like to play a little bit longer. So they don't have to make these large jumps and worry about who is playing left of them.
I've seen Liz Johnson, who's playing 10th board all the time from game 1 to game 6, and I saw two-handed players who already started at the 4th board and nearly also stayed there a whole 6 games. So
Yes.
just switch balls or change surfaces.
Yes, and Sean Rash, when he played his tournament leading score, he only moved 3 boards, and he used the same ball the entire day. He adjusted his speed to compensate for some of the friction that he was beginning to see down lane, but he.
So you use just one ball.
One ball.
Not different layouts, different surfaces.
Just one ball.
Okay.
And but we've seen that with a few players have been able to do that. Maybe not as many as successful as what Sean had. But the player really needs to be on their game.
Yes.
And they have to have a variety of ball reactions with them. Strong stuff, medium stuff, with surface, without surface, just to give them choices. And you can always adjust the ball as you need. You see many players that are playing multiple squads that have not made the cut. And so with each squad, you should be learning a little bit. And these are good players.
At least a little bit.
At least a little bit, and you adjust the surface, find different ways to be able to attack, try different things. Most of them try to stay within their game. Someone like Parker was a little bit out of his game. He had one squad, his squad that he played his 1300 on. It was really unusual when I walked the lanes afterwards. And, I think we used 20 lanes on
it was
squad.
one of the earlier squads,
Yeah. And, I walked the lanes. We did not use 1 and 2. I look at 3 and 4. Normal traffic on the right-hand side. Very little on the left. And then 5 and 6, the left side looked exactly like the right side.
Okay.
7 and 8 was like 3 and 4. 9 and 10 was like 5 and 6, because they were crossing 4 lanes in their squad. And I don't think in all the years that I've been making the lanes for this tournament, I've seen that many. All the left-handers followed left-handers, with the exception there was, I think, 10 or 12 left-handers on that squad, and that was not a big squad.
No, not really.
And so just to see them all following each other and the type of transition that they created, you just never see the left side look anywhere near what the right side looks like, but it did that day. But now we are in the long day. 2 more lane maintenance left.
Yes.
And then, of course, the finals tomorrow.
Yep.
That's always exciting. But really one of my favorite parts of the tournament is watching the Desperado.
Yeah, that's really you see all the emotions from the players. Yeah, that's fun.
It looks like we got some good scores.
Yeah, Jesper started with 154 over for 2 games.
For 2 games, and he started the 122 over last squad.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know game 3 was 199. Game 4 was 224. With an open in the 10th frame, a miss of all things. And
let's see what he does in the 3rd game.
But the first 2 games are definitely the 2 highest scoring games for the entire field. But then as the lanes start to slowly transition, you see players try to make normal adjustments when their adjustments probably should be a little bit smaller.
Jesper's looking good again.
He's
on
looking
41.
good again.
Double, then a split and 5-bagger. Already possible 266. So
yeah, I know he would like to make the cut. He's a good player, and sometimes the good players sometimes they match up, sometimes they do not.
Yeah.
Now we had Jonas from Finland, who last year 15:45 for a qualifying score, and he struggled a little bit with reaction. He has come close on some squads, but just needs to get about 20 or 30 more pins and to get into the cut.
Yeah, it's not much, but you have to bowl 1380. It's not very easy.
Yeah, and like I said, 12 players to play 1380 or higher to move that cut score up.
Yeah,
that's still quite a bit, especially this late in the qualification.
Yes. Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, there was 2 that qualified, made the qualification last squad, 1412 and 1385, and so the cut went up 3 pins.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
And we had, I think, 54 players last squad. Around that number?
Yeah, around that number.
Yeah.
And then I just spoke with Brian Voss, and he said he was going to try to get on one of the next 2 squads.
Ah, okay.
Because he's the last position on the early bird.
Yes, yeah. Because yesterday I also spoke with Brian, and he said, I won't bowl anymore. I just bowled the Desperado. I said, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I've had a few players. I talked to Norm Duke a few years ago, and he was struggling, and he said, I think I need to retire and just hang up my bowling shoes.
Same words from Brian
and
yesterday.
And then he came the next day, and he ended up qualifying. So
yeah, it's...
Oh, look. Getting ready to make the change here. Still see plenty of strikes. There was first 9 strikes on lane 4.
Yeah, Reggie T's posted 279.
Yeah.
Let's see the front lanes. 230. Oh yeah. Philip Williamson.
He left a single pin in the 10th frame and started.
Yeah.
I
okay.
see that.
Yeah, online scoring is not updated yet.
Yeah.
Also 279. Yeah.
Now this is one. The pattern for this tournament is one to remember. You know, this is the last year in the 3-year deal that we had with here with Dream Bowl, and so they're supposed to meet, and it'd be nice to come back here for 3 years. This is a wonderful wonderful bowling center to have a tournament like this.
Yeah.
Just so much room. Working with Martin Knobel and his staff, his technicians, just absolutely fantastic people. I truly enjoy coming here. They make you feel at home.
Yeah, really. That's true.
And we have a lot of laughs. So we all get along well, and that makes the tournament much easier when you can relax and
especially
have fun.
On long days like
today.
Yesterday, tomorrow, and
well, I snuck out of here early last night. I was at the hotel by 10.
Okay.
And then had a snack at the hotel and went to bed so I could be as fresh as possible for today. But today will be a long day. I might have to find some place to hide and take maybe 1 hour's sleep just to refresh myself. Because like I said, I like to stay and watch the Desperado, so it's sometimes very difficult to get out of here.
Yes.
Technical difficulty. But Kai Gunther, he's another one. Very, very enjoyable person. You know, the stereotype was always that the Germans were always very angry.
No, we're not angry.
No, I know, you're far from it. No, this has been. I love coming here. This is close to my mother's side of the family was from Western Austria.
Okay.
So I grew up a lot of Bavarian-style food, eating over at my grandmother's house, and every time I did not eat enough, she always would ask if I was sick.
Yeah.
And actually, well, it's been many years now. When I was in school, I studied German for 6 years. I still understand quite a bit, but to get it to come out of my mouth properly is sometimes difficult.
But you know already a few German words.
Who do we have moving this way? I see Sandra Anderson from Sweden, while we have Brad Angelo right in front of our 13 and 14.
Yep.
He's off to a good start. So plus 88 after 3.
688. Yeah.
Yeah. So he is very close to the cut score. I think he's 1369 or 1367 for his qualification.
Yeah, 1369.
1360. And what squad was that?
It was squad number 11.
Okay.
So not one of the early ones.
Not one of the early ones. He was here to play one of the early squads, but
yeah, he played a lot of squads.
Yes, he did. Expensive practice.
Yeah. Yeah, as Sean posted his 1476, he said, "Wow, I saved $900."
Last year he struggled. He had a difficult time last year. But it happens. I mean, Brad just recently won. Was it 1 or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, in Middle East.
In the Middle East, $25,000 U.S. dollars. So that's a nice paycheck.
Yeah.
So he has a little extra money to spend on the re-entry.
But I think he expected different.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting watching him because I've known Brad when he was for a long time, and Brad was on the Brunswick staff for a number of years. And he's just having a difficult time with the reaction. I think a number of squads he was just trying to make the ball do something that the pattern wouldn't allow him to do.
Okay.
And now we see here he starts off the second frame and with a pocket 710. And then another player, Diana from Latvia.
Yeah, she's playing collegiately in USA.
Yes, she is, and she's one of the top women bowlers in the United States right now, and to see her struggle is what for me was a surprise, as well as my game.
Yeah.
Was a surprise, but everyone has their day. Everyone has their tournament.
Yeah.
There could be a number of reasons why. Maybe just the wrong choices of bowling balls. Maybe not feeling well. Maybe not practicing the correct things. Also, maybe just not being able to see the lanes right.
Did you have any difficulty with the topography here from the lanes?
No, this is a very good installation. I mean, we see some characteristics across the house with certain lane pairs, and that's normal.
It's 52 lanes.
52 lanes. The bigger the bigger the center, the bigger changes that you can see. But I do a lot of seminars around the world. I do some coaching and I tell the people the players that I work with said you should never expect the lanes to be exactly the same from lane to lane, from pair to pair. It's very rare. If you find it, then take advantage of it because you're pretty lucky. And especially once the first game is over with and you start moving and you have different people in front of you.
In case you realize that is a topography problem.
Yeah, well.
I take it on my side. I think I wouldn't realize it if a lane has a different topography from the lane I've played before. So
yeah, and like I said, you will have some of that. I know the Knoebels take a lot of pride in their center and their lanes, and they have them inspected every year, and so, and I know here the surface is still young. It's still still in good condition, and they maintain their lanes well, and so it's nice to come into centers because many times I go to tournaments to maintain lanes and do not always have the best lane surface to work with. So sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. You think that maybe they will play a certain way and they play a little bit different, and I do a lot of stuff with the Professional Bowlers Association. Actually, I'll be with them next week, and going to a center I've never been to before. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the lanes play there and just take notes on that bowling center. So if we ever go back there, I at least have some record of the characteristics.
So our scores will be updated soon after 3 games.
I hope so. I know Kai is filling in for Rick, but I think the only thing that Rick may have forgotten in his instructions was the password.
Maybe.
So I may have to interrupt. He's doing a presentation for some customers, like an investment. Yeah. Customers that are looking to invest in the bowling and want to look at our product and stuff. So we call it a showcase. And so I think we got some 80 customers. Well, maybe not all customers because I know some of them came with distributors. Okay. So, but there's quite a number of people that they have in the meeting room.
Oh, okay. Is he also responsible for lane maintenance or just for the scoring?
Well, for the tournament, the scoring, but Rick's position at Brunswick is he's service manager. So he goes to many installations, whether they're new installations, maybe modernizations, to do inspections, to help out the crews that do the installations. And I know he's a busy man. He flies a lot. He flies more than me, and I fly a lot.
Okay.
Looks like almost everybody's done. I know there are some slow pairs on the high end, up in the 40s. They had some technical difficulties.
Oh, okay.
Down there that slowed them up a little bit.
Tim Mack is also playing again.
Yeah.
He told me 2 days ago, well, I think it's enough. I don't play again.
You know, with his experience, he should probably know that.
Maybe.
He had 1380 something. I think.
1390.
1390. And so, but maybe he may just be trying some different things to prepare himself for the next squad or for the finals. Because even Jazrael played early this morning, and he's just working on trying some different things. Like Brad Angelo made his adjustment that he needed to after the 710. So he's strike open and 3 strikes after that. So Marco, do you bowl at all?
Not this year.
Not this year?
No. I'm just concentrating on this one because I realized that last year I also made the live stream for the track open.
Okay.
I played, and the live streaming runs in the background, so I'm not completely with my head where it should be. So I don't play this year.
Okay. And normally in this tournament I will pace a 1, 2, maybe 3 squads, but they really haven't used any pacers at all. I don't think they've used any pacers at all this year.
No, not this year.
So what is, if there's been 2 or 3 pairs with 3 players on it, and there's only 1 pacer, makes no sense. But I always only bowl 5 games because I have to go and prepare the machines ready for the next lane maintenance. Which that has been going very well. Using 2 Brunswick envoys to put out the pattern, and it takes me from the time I bring the machines out and set them down to the time we pick them up and put them away about 40 minutes the whole time.
That's okay.
Yeah. So it makes it fast. The technicians have been playing with their GoPro camera yesterday.
Okay.
So they set it up on lane 1 in the aisle next to lane 1, and did a time lapse.
Ah, cool.
Which was quite funny. We watched it and back and had a good laugh. They asked me to wear it on my head for the maintenance for the next squad, and I said, maybe not.
Jasper is up 188 after 3. So 788.
All right. What was his best squad so far?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. He had maybe 1350 or something like that.
Let me see. Yeah, 1341.
Okay.
So it looks like he would make the cut.
Yeah.
3 more games to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen some large changes in scores
Oh yes.
in a few
Yeah.
games. So you're never in until you
It's
complete
over.
that. Yeah.
Yes. Especially the last game could be destroying.
I've seen. Well, you know, I've watched Missy Parkin. There were 2 squads where she was in very good position.
Yeah.
And 170 the last game, 160 the last game, and you know, to lose 40 pins like that,
Yes.
that's difficult.
Yeah, Tim Mack also, he had 220 over after 5 games and played the last game on lane 15-16, I think, and finished up with 160.
Yeah.
So he also had a little bit bad luck with the pinfall. Pocket 7, pocket 8, some splits.
Marco, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to sneak some lunch before the next
No
lane
problem.
maintenance.
Yeah.
I want to thank you very much for
I thank you,
having
appreciate
me
it.
on, and yeah, we'll see you out on the lanes.
Okay, we will.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.